My name's Steve Griffin. I'm Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Education. And part of what I get to do is work with Michael and Cheryl and Jeannie and Dr. Mellon and the rest of the team on college and career readiness. And I've learned a great deal in my 8 months here. Part of what our college and career readiness initiative does include is a teacher externship program. I think we began that last fall, and according to my notes here, we had a total of 30 teachers participate in the externship. That's usually a week long, for those of you who may not know, and that's over either summer break or fall break. It gives teachers that insight that I remember myself teaching would have loved to have had as a science teacher, knowing what practical skills. I talked a good game in class, but I really didn't know. That was my career, was teaching, and I really didn't get inside area businesses and organizations to really be able to share that. So these externships are allowing that to happen for our teachers. This next summer, our goal is to place 50 teachers in externships. I do know that we already have 19 commitments from businesses to host teachers. We have 10 to 15 businesses that are still pending, working out the details there. If anyone's interested in hosting an teacher extern, let me know, let Mr. Denny know. We'd love to work with you to make that happen. If you would be interested in hosting or helping to fund an extern, that would be awesome. So for this coming summer, we already have commitments from Amazon, Clarion Corporation, Complete Metal Fabrication, ERL Inc., Family Scholar House, Kentucky Science Center, Metals USA, Owings Patterns, the Cutter Group, and Work One Southern Indiana. Did I miss anybody? Okay. So we greatly appreciate their partnership in bringing in our teacher externships. We also have some funding that we'd like to thank our Greater Clark County Schools Educational Foundation for donating $10,000 to this initiative, as well as our Advanced Manufacturing and Logistics Board, Metals USA, Amazon, Cutter Group, Clarion Corporation, and Owings Patterns for helping us with that as well, because as you see here how powerful the internship experience is, we feel like the externship experience for our teachers is just as powerful to bring back those experiences to the classroom that will hopefully spark that interest to build our student internship initiative as well. So if you have any questions about that, don't hesitate to stop me, call me, email me, Mr. Denny, Ms. Martin, Ms. Knoll. We would love to talk to you about that. So, Mike.
Thank you. Michael Denny, I'm with the College and Career Program, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the work ethic certification, just kind of give you an update on that. We did that for our 12th graders last year. This year we rolled it out for not only 12th, but we're doing 8th and 5th grade. We've worked and talked with a number of districts in Region 10, Scott County, South Harrison. We've talked to groups out in the state. We've got more upcoming. It's a program that seems to be getting quite a bit of traction because for kids to get that work ethic certificate, pretty stringent criteria that they have to meet. You've seen that, so I'm not going to go through all of that, but I think it was interesting in listening to our interns the number of times that you heard them reference work ethic as something they're seeing, experiencing, and starting to realize the importance of. Basically, the number's pretty easy to remember. We've got 2,222 kids that in our 5th, 8th, and 12th grade combined. And at the end of last week, the last time I looked at the data, 48% of those students are still eligible to earn a work ethic certificate. So that means they're doing a good job in the classroom, they're doing a good job in citizenship, they're doing a good job in attendance, they're getting there on time, they're not checking in and out of school on a daily basis, and they're meeting those pride expectations. We're hopeful that 30% of our high school kids would earn the certificate this year. That would be up from 24 last year. We've set some targets for 40% of our middle school, 50% of elementary. We haven't gone through that process, so we'll kind of re-norm that a little bit when we get to the end of the year. We're very proud of what our kids are doing in that area, and we think by implementing that PRIDE program, pre-K through 12, we're going to change the culture. of our young people coming out as they become part of that talent pool that our business community really needs. The other thing I would like to mention to you, at your table, we're going into the job fair business this year for the first time ever. As we've been out and talked to businesses, they keep telling us they struggle to find good employees. We're trying to make connection for our young folks. So we're going to host a job fair May 23rd at Jeffersonville High School. We are co-hosting with both ones because they're kind of the experts in this, so they've taken us by the hand and given us little baby steps to go along. We will be getting not only our kids in, but we'll be bringing in kids from Region 10. We'll be bringing in Prosser, Scott County, Harrison County, Washington. We want it to be a regional event for young folks. We hope to have 100 vendors there. Not people just giving out information, but people looking for employees. It will also be open to our community. So parents or other people that are interested in looking for work will be able to come in and participate in that as well. So when you see the yard signs going up, if you know companies that might be interested, please let us know. Again, it's our first venture, but we think when we have job fairs at Work One, we struggle sometimes to get our kids out there. So we think doing it in-house, we can get more of them engaged. Jeff Hyman will provide buses for our kids in Charlestown and New Wash. Want to make it a great event. So again, it's our first time in there. Aaron and Daniel did the flyer. I mean, they crank stuff out. It makes it a lot easier when you got such great talent there helping with that. So any help you can give us with that would be greatly appreciated. And as Steve said, spread the word about the teacher externship programs and stuff and the internships. We've got people out there that I don't know that they know what they're missing having young folks like this in their organization. They bring a lot of energy and some of our greatest ambassadors. So thank you. Dr. Howland.
We've got a great team here that I'm very proud of, and it really is all about relevancy. There's a word that I think we try to focus on a lot, is relevancy. How do we make what we do more relevant to our kids and really for all of our staff members? Keeping our eye on that mission. Why do we do what we do? We want all of our students to not only graduate, but be accepted to that post-secondary opportunity. And it takes all of us as working as a team to make that happen. And just a couple of thoughts for you with the Work Ethic Certification Program. The Department of Workforce Development has reached out to us to perhaps consider piloting the PRIDE program in each region of the state. And so we'll see how that plays, but the fact that they've contacted us and reached out to us, there shows that with all the presentations that we've been making around the state, that there's some real interest. And why? Because as much as we need to keep focusing on developing those hard skills, the reading, writing, math skills that are essential, if we don't have a society full of people of strong character, we will suffer and we will struggle and we won't succeed. So the foundation, in our opinion, and I think it can be shared by a lot, is it starts with a strong foundation of character. If we build people strong of character, we can accomplish anything. And that is what we're trying to focus on. We're also looking at implementing a drug testing program in our school system, a random drug testing program. It has to go through our board, and there's a lot of steps, but one of the pieces of it would be that if you signed up for a work ethics certification, there are 9 criteria now to earn it, it would be the 10th. That sometime during their senior year, they would undergo a drug test. Because we hear that from all of our employers, that's a monster issue. Whether a student wants to become an engineer, or wants to go into a skilled trade, wants to go right into the workforce as an assembler, it doesn't matter. That's an issue across our society. But that will require some help with funding. We have a source of funding for at least 50% of it out of the Charlestown, New Washington area, but we'll need about $15,000 to $20,000 of funding to do this program in the Jeffersonville area. So if by chance at some point you have some ideas or thoughts about that, we're ready, again, to put our money, put their money where our mouth is and make that happen. Work keys. We, for the first year, our foundation was kind enough to not only support ACT testing for every junior, but also ACT Work Keys testing. And some of you in here might be familiar with what Work Keys is about. But it's 3 tests, applied math, reading for information, locating information. And if students take this as seniors and they score at a certain level or above, they will earn a National Career Ready Certificate. So remember how we have the work ethic certificate on the one side of the equation, which is that soft skill credential. On the other side is the National Career Ready credential, and that's that hard skill, the reading, the writing, the math. So again, students have a chance to walk away with both credentials in hand. Now, we're not fully complete with all of that testing, but I think it was about a week ago, we had about 460 students complete the Work Keys testing, and 390 or so had achieved that credential. That was about 85% of our seniors have received the National Career Ready Certificate. Now that Work Keys test is written, it's an adult level test. This is adult stuff. And that means our seniors are ready. 83 or 85%, we'll see what the final numbers are. But again, we're trying to put our money where our mouth is, because if we're going to send students away from this school system, whether they go to a 4-year college, right into the workforce, 2-year, we want people to know that they can count on our kids to be able to get that done. So I'm very proud of the efforts with Work Keys in that regard. And then the last thing is just talking about the future of this group. One of the things that I've worked hard to do, and sometimes it's just an ongoing challenge, is you want to engage as many people as possible in the business of education. We need a lot of help. We need a lot of support. We have 10,400 and some students from all kinds of backgrounds, and our 1,400 employees are dedicated every day to do everything in their power to help, but it's got to go well beyond that. And the only way we really can continue to meet the needs is by getting input and feedback from our entire community. So we have had a strategic planning committee in place since I arrived. It had about 70 people involved initially, and it meets twice a year to review where we are. It's not enough. That's our opinion. So our advisories, this is one. All of a sudden, here's the opportunity for us to really engage in more conversation and discussion to build action plans and steps moving forward. So this has been such a great group. I also have a parent advisory and a multicultural advisory, and they've been great. What we've decided to do is we're going to have advisories in literacy, numeracy, marketing, finance, and facilities, in addition to those other 3. 8 advisories with representation from our entire community, roughly 20 or so people on each one. So now instead of having 50 to 70 people on a strategic planning committee, we want to have 150 to 200 people on our strategic planning advisories. So this group will still be in existence. We're not going to move away from what you're doing. The next time we meet, though, we have to revisit where we are and what we want to get accomplished. Because by you coming here and dedicating your time, we always want you to feel that you're valued. So the next time we get together, we have to have a little bit of a brainstorming session about where do we want to go next? What more do we need to do? On the advisories, we'll have students, because that's the one group that sometimes we have a tendency to neglect, and they need to be part of these advisories. That's why we exist. We obviously will have parents, we'll have our staff members, we'll have community leaders and members as well. We need to have a broad-based group of people, and I just want you to know that you have been an invaluable asset to what we're doing. And this group will continue to move forward. But the next time we get together, as much as we will always try to keep you updated on what we're doing, we need you to help us next time looking at action steps. What are our future goals moving forward? Does that make sense to everybody? Without you, we just would not be where we are today. So your time is greatly appreciated, and if you don't mind, if you'd give these students one more round of applause. Thank you for coming. Have a good rest of your day.